obviously one of your agendas is safety studies,
Yes.
which we'll probably end with. Go back to her.
Okay, so after she had the
Who's just sitting there, just so calm?
After she had the vaccines administered, she had the blistering at site of injection, she had the petechial hemorrhaging. She was sleeping anywhere from 12 to 22 hours a day. She was tested for mono, which came back negative. They were doing tests. She started having grand mal seizures. She had focal seizures. She started fainting. She had constant migraines. She lived in agony, and I mean the word agony to its fullest form. I'm not just saying she was in pain or a lot of pain. This kid thought she was dying for 2.5 years, 7 days a week, both day and night.
So Savannah, can I ask you a question? How did you feel? I told you I was going to make you talk about it, but I'm a dad of a daughter, and I'm listening to this, and
Yeah.
that pisses me off. Somebody hurts my kid, you better run. Because you better run fast, because I'm going to run faster. So what was going through your mind?
I was absolutely terrified.
And no kid should be freaking terrified. That's crap. I'm sorry, kid.
And the scariest part is when you have to go back to the person that hurt you for help. That was hard. That was
I
very
wouldn't mind
hard.
going to it with her.
That was hard. But anyway, so for the first 5 to 6 weeks, she had all those, she had the migraines, she had all those, like the sinus infection, ear infections, throat infection, thrush. Thrush is a sign of a weakened immune system. She had canker sores in her mouth, vertigo. She couldn't think. She could barely eat. She could not function as a human being. She was in so much pain. She was in the emergency room so many times. She was in the emergency room. We debate on it. I stopped counting after about 55 visits at the ER, but we're probably upwards of 70 to 80 visits at the ER.
Over what time frame?
30, well, she's been healing quite a bit in the last 6 months. So up until about 6 months ago, so about 28 months to 29 months is when she was hospitalized 13 times and then treated in the emergency room.
So
60 to 70 times around there.
when you would go to the emergency room, and I ask this not for the viewers, this is my curiosity as a parent, and I guess as a healthcare provider. When you went to the emergency room and said, "This is my little girl," did you tell them she was injected with the poison and she's suffering this? Did you say that they...
Throughout this, I've had to learn how to separate myself from being a mom and also looking at it from, we have to work with facts, we have to work with giving the doctors information so that they can fix things, as they see fit.
That's pretty powerful.
I wanted it to be documented that I bring it up every single time. This all started after she got her 7th grade shots. She had a reaction.
Do they acknowledge that though? Because here's the challenge I've heard and seen.
Mm-hmm.
I always call it the NBA basketball player that committed a foul. Foul.
Well, many doctors will not. They don't want to get into the drama of questioning the CDC, and I actually understand that.
It's not drama though. It's you're hurting people. See, that's just get out of your ego. You're hurting people.
But see, I also see. I have to look at things from many different perspectives. Not
And you're
just
better
that.
than me.
I'm trying so hard. Okay, so when you work with certain details, you can learn different things. And when we were in the emergency room, I would bring it up, and the doctors some would acknowledge it and some would not. The ones that did, I would ask if they could write it down, and they were like, I can't, because it could mess with my license, you know. And even one of the doctors at the Mayo Clinic, because she's been seen at the Mayo Clinic twice, one of the doctors there was like, at first very reluctant, and the more I spoke and I would bring up certain key ingredients and questions, and have you looked into this, and have you seen this with any other patients? Because even if they're not familiar with injuries to Gardasil or any other vaccines, I want to plant the seed of the next patient that comes in that's her age. Why don't you ask a few questions? Let's see if we can learn from this. Because you can't just assume that the pharmaceutical sales rep knows what they're talking about. Because if you're looking in sales, you know, if you go to buy a new car and they send you a certain price, you know, if you just say, oh, okay, well, you're taking a risk. So it's good to ask questions. It's good to bring up certain things. And with these sales reps, of course, they're going to say things that are probably less than likely 100% true. But I would actually love to speak to some of these sales reps and ask questions, because I guarantee they either can't answer the question or they'll deviate from the question.
They'll go to A, because did you hear on like the last week's video, how she started rattling off what was in that? Were you going to the back of your mind, looking in the file cabinet for it? I guarantee you, they don't know it. And you just proved it to me again, how deeply educated you are on this. And I guarantee they don't. They won't. They'll deviate because it'll be like, yeah, I don't know that answer, because that wasn't on the 3x5 card that I memorized.
Right. Well, and polysorbate 80 is an emulsifier, and it works with the aluminum, which breaks the blood-brain barrier, which allows these toxins to get into your brain. And where do these heavy metals stay?
The nerve system.
They are not flushed out. They are not flushed out. They are meant to stay in the brain. When you're talking about immunity, it has nothing to do with the brain. There is no need to open the blood-brain barrier, which was designed for a reason, to keep it separate from the rest of the body. You cannot bypass it.
She's so
Sorry.
smart.
Sorry.
Your mom is so smart.
I get in the zone. I tell you.
No, zone away.
Stop talking, let her go.
How we doing? How we doing?
We're at 8 minutes.
All right, do this when we'll do next week's.
Yep.
Sorry, but sorry people, that deal with it. All right, keep going.
All right. So where was I?
Wow.
Blood-brain barrier, smacking them in.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's been hospitalized 13 times and in the emergency room 60, 70 times, around that ballpark, you know. But I would bring it up with every doctor, every nurse, and so many people have come to me, and I won't say what hospital, what doctor, what nurse, I won't disclose anything, but I'd say about 20 to 30% of the people we've run into have actually told me in secret and very hush-hush that they believe me, they've seen this before, this is very common, but they cannot talk about it. And I understand that, and I completely respect it, and I'm thankful that they came to me and said what they said, because it put my mind at ease, because you always try and stay open-minded and say, could it be this, could it be this, could it be this? You know, you want to look at all the avenues. You don't want to close anything out because, you know, that could be a mistake.
That's just scary though, the power that Big Pharma has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that you know, you see movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you hear it, but to hear it, the power that they have without caring.
It's scary.
That's repulsive. I mean,
You know, and instead of doing, you know, I want them to do a double-blind placebo study. Pharmaceutical companies spend 33% on average of their income on commercials and media and sales. And
so away, baby, got to market.
It should not be about marketing. Doctors should not be getting bonuses for having certain percentages of their patients vaccinated. There should be nothing about kickbacks, bonuses. Money should not be exchanged. There should not be goals set for you've got to get this certain amount pushed, especially on a product that has not been tested to be safe.